Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced American League replay. We are at Comiskey Park in Chicago for the New York Yankees taking on the Chicago White Sox. This is May the 5th, another Cinco de Mayo game. Hello, Dav. Another Cinco de Mayo game. If we look at the previous game they played yesterday and look at the pitchers that were used, Yankees used Pat Clements for 2 innings and Dave Righetti for 2 innings. So those guys are going to be the last ones to be brought in. For the White Sox, they didn't really. Bob James pitched an inning and a third, but I think he can still come back again. But I'll still put him near the bottom as we try to use other guys. Of course, Guante came in but didn't get anybody out, faced 3 batters. So I guess technically we could use him again, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Don Mattingly was a player of the game, went 4 for 5. So that's what happened yesterday, May the 4th, in this series. But of course, we're at Cinco de Mayo. And we got two, at least one rather obscure pitcher, one not so obscure. We got Bill Long starting for the White Sox and knuckleballer Joe Niekro starting for the Yankees. Hello, Ben. I'm thinking about I was deciding whether to do the inside pitch game tonight or this game tonight. Decided to go with this one. I can do the inside pitch one tomorrow. Bill Long for the White Sox against Joe Niekro. This is game number 174 on the replay. Another game on Cinco de Mayo. Ballpark effects: singles 1-9, home runs 1-4, both left and right. Long has no record, no wins, no losses. Niekro is the same way. Niekro has a very high wild pitch rating of 18. Long has no wild pitch rating, but does have a 2-balk rating. Niekro +5. He's a terrible hold. He's a +8. So they're going to be the White Sox will be testing out the running game against him for sure. Long actually is a -3, so he might be able to hold Ricky Henderson and some of the other Yankee fast runners down with that hold rating. We shall see. Hello, Hardwood and Ernest and Alan. Good to see all of you. Got our dice that are as close to Chicago White Sox colors as I could think of. And we'll get this game going here. Let me get I've got the Strat computer already up, so we'll go ahead and get the full stats on Bill Long. He's been pitching in relief only. This is his first start. He's 0-0 with no saves, a 1.42 earned run average, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Yankees tied for first in the American League East at 18-7. They are tied with the Brewers. White Sox are 11-11. They were tied with Kansas City, but Kansas City beat Toronto. And so now Kansas City is 12-11, so Chicago has to win to keep pace and stay tied for second place behind the first place Oakland A's, who are 18-9. So big game for the White Sox. Big game for both of them, actually, even though it's still early. Ricky Henderson leading off. He's hitting .330, 4 homers, 11 driven in. Runned away from Comiskey, 5-6. It's a line out to third. So Henderson hits it hard, but right to Tim Hewlett. And it's easily 1 away. Good idea to keep Ricky off the base paths if you are the White Sox. Here's Claudell Washington. He is performing the DH duties tonight. And he's hitting .333 in 39 at-bats. I believe that's 13 out of 39. A homer and 8 driven in. 6-9 against Long, lefty. 1-5 is a triple. 6-20 is a double. That's a double for Claudell. So he ups that average a little bit further. And now the hot guy on the team, Don Mattingly, 4 for 5 in last night's game, or yesterday's game, May 4th game. He has upped his average now to .297, 3 homers, 15 driven in. First havoc roll, nothing happening. Long to Mattingly, 2-6, and that's a single 2 stars, and that will bring home the first run of the game, and Mattingly continues his hot hitting. RBI single for Don Mattingly. Yankees lead at 1-0. Just that fast. Mattingly will not be held, obviously. Here's Dan Pasqua. Pasqua on the replay is hitting just .196, 5 homers, 11 driven in. Nothing on the havoc. 3-5, and that's a walk. So the Long running into some trouble here in the first. 2 on, only 1 out, 1 in for the big guy, Dave Winfield. Winfield hitting 257, 5 homers, 17 driven in. Long looking for that double play ball to get out of the inning. 3-6, and he got it right on cue. 3-6, ground ball, shortstop A. It's a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning, and he gets away with just 1 run allowed, which the way he was pitching, he's got to feel fortunate only to give up the 1 run. Got the pitcher's best friend, the 6-4-3 double play to get out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Yankees 1, White Sox coming to bat. And knuckleballer Joe Niekro on the mound for the Yankees. On the replay, Niekro is 0-0. No saves, 4.35 earned run average. Of course, he doesn't have any saves. He's only a starter, not a reliever. 10 innings pitched, 9 hits, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts. And I know RDL will be very thrilled to know that this game is being played in the 87 world on May the 5th. On May the 8th, guess who comes off the disabled list? None other than Harold Baines. So I know that RJL, particularly with his time off, resting his voice, would love to watch some Harold Baines games. I just know he would. Hello, Colin. Good to see you. All right, Niekro facing Daryl Boston. Boston hitting .313, 4 homers, 12 driven in. That's a 2-8, and that is a strikeout. So Niekro knuckleballs one right past Daryl Boston for the K. That's the first strikeout for Niekro. Brings up Gary Reedus, not the temptation, left fielder. And he, on the replay, is hitting .307, 2 homers, 9 driven in. 4-4, and that's trouble for Niekro. 1-6 is a triple. That's a 7, though, so it'll be a double for Gary Reedus. So the speedy Reedus is on with the double. He runs at a 17. They will hold him at second base to try to keep him close. So we got to watch out for ground ball shortstop X's. That would take 1 away from Tollison's range, if that's the case, because he would be responsible for holding the runner. Here's Greg Walker hitting .205 and 2 homers, 9 driven in. It's a 4-11, and that's a fly ball left field X, and that's Mr. Pasqua. He's a 3-E5. 3-11 is good all day long. Let's find out exactly what the result is. A 3-11 is an F2, and Pasqua's error rating is an E5, 4, 14, and 18. Make sure we remove this die because we want a virgin tray. That's a 13. He was an E5. It's a 14, but no 13. So Pasqua, shaky, but makes the play. And Walker flies to left. Reedus retreating to second, rather. 2 down. And now we got a clutch situation for the DH, Ron Hasse. Hasse hitting .217, a homer and 4 driven in. Niekro looking to knuckle one past Hasse. 4-7, and he does not do that. 1's a double, anything else will be a single. So it's a single, 2 stars for Hasse, and the speedy Reedus will come in to score to tie this ball game at a run apiece. RBI single in the clutch for Ron Hasse. Tie ball game, and here comes Pudge, the original Pudge, Carlton Fisk. He's hitting .284, 2 homers, 9 driven in. Hasse, of course, not being held. And that's a 3-4 for Fisk, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Niekro. But the Sox tie the game on the RBI single from Ron Hasse. And at the end of 1, we're tied at 1. Hello, Mr. RJL. You do that. You lurk all you like. Rest your voice as much as possible. And, well, of course, if you're doing the state of the channel, that you're going to be talking tomorrow, but after tomorrow you rest your voice for the rest of the week, and I'll carry the load between this and Inside Pitch 1977. We'll see about carrying the load for you. All right, so Mike Pagliarulo will lead things off against Bill Long. Pagliarulo hitting .253, 6 homers, 14 driven in. That's a 6-8, and that's a 1-10 double. That's an 11, though, so it'll be a single for Mike Pagliarulo. Leadoff single for Pags. He will not be held, obviously. And the veteran, Willie Randolph, is up. He's hitting .316, no homers, and 13 driven in. Long to Randolph, looking for another double play possibly. 6-10, and he doesn't get it. In-home run chance 1-17. That is a 17, but Randolph has weak power against righties. It's just a single with 2 stars. So it will not be a 2-run homer. It will be a single that will move Pagliarulo to third base. So runners at the corners with nobody out, and Joel Leonard Skinner, the batter. They're going to play back with nobody out. They're going to play back for the double play. They want to minimize the damage. They will give up the run to get 2 outs, and Skinner is definitely a double play candidate. 1-8, and he's also a strikeout candidate. First strikeout for Long. Now a double play gets him out of the inning for Wayne Tollison. Infield definitely looking for the double play now. Tollison on the replay, hitting a $149, 2 homers, 9 driven in. 2-8, and that is a 1-14 single, and that's the lines to second. That's a 13. It's a base hit. Base hit by Tollison, so it didn't matter how the infield was positioned. That was going to go through. Only 1 star, so Randolph can get second base, but the Yankees take a 2-1 lead. And that brings up Ricky. Lined out to Hewlett his first time up. Tollison not being held at first. Infield still looking for that double play. It's a 4-3, and it's a ground ball pitcher X right back to Bill Long. He's an E26. He's also a 3, so the 3 is going to be critical to see if he can turn 2. 3-13, maybe. Maybe. Let's check 3-13 for the pitcher. 3-13, nope, it's just a G2. They'll get a fielder's choice chance, and that's going to be it. The run's going to score. The error rating, though, is an E26, so he's got to worry about that as well. And he's got some numbers here, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, and 18. Boy, it's a lot of numbers to possibly make an error on. That is a 10. There is no 10. Somehow he avoided an error because there is no 10 on the E26. It will be a G2. So the only play is to throw to second base to get Tollison 1-4 on the fielder's choice, but Henderson much too fast to be doubled off. Scoring is Randolph. It's now 3-1 Yankees. Give an RBI to Henderson for an RBI ground out. And that'll bring up Claudell Washington with 2 outs and 2 on. I'm sorry, 2 outs and 1 on. Ricky is on. Let's see if Ricky can get the lead. Ricky needs a 6 or a 7 to obtain the lead. And he does not get it, so he will hold. Here's Claudell. 1-7 struck him out to end the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Yankees. They take a 3-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. I got a funny feeling this could be one of these 10-9 games. I just hope that all the scoring isn't done by one team. I'm tired of these blowout games I've been having lately. I need some close games. All right, Joe Niekro back out. And Niekro will be facing Ivan Calderon. Calderon hitting .329, 5 homers, 14 driven in. That's a 5-11, and that is a ballpark single check. First time to the ballpark, 1-9. That's a 13. It fails, so that will be a line out to short. Snagged by Tollison. 1 down, and Fred Manrique, the batter. Manrique hitting .320 just in 25 at bats, though. No homers, 5 driven in. 3-7 for Manrique, and he strikes out. Third strikeout, rather, for Niekro. 2 up, 2 down for Timmy Hewlett. He's really struggling. A $183, 1 homer, 5 driven in. He hit .217 real world. 4-7, and that's a 1-18 single, so he does get himself a base hit. 2-out single for Hewlett. He will not be held. And here comes Ozzie Guillen. Guillen on the replay hitting .263, a homer and 7 driven in. Niekro to Guillen. That's a 2-11, and that's a pop out to Willie Randolph, and that's going to end the inning. Nothing doing for the Sox at the end of 2. It's 3-1 Yankees. And we go to the top of the third. Due up for the Pinstripers will be Donnie Baseball. And RBI single his first time up. Continuing his hot hitting. Whoa. Hopping dice. Let's re-roll that. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. We are looking at Manrique. He's a 3E13. 3 and an 8. I think he'll get to that. Pretty sure he will. 3 and an 8 for a second baseman. He is a G3, so it's good enough. He's an error of 13. Got to avoid 14, 3, and 18. Which he does. So good play for Manrique to retire manually, 1 away. That'll bring up Danny Pasqua. Pasqua walked his first trip. 3-6, and he'll walk again. Second walk issued by Long. They've both been to Pasqua. And that'll bring up Winfield into a double play his first time up. Long looking to have history repeat itself. 1-6, it does not. It's another walk. Third walk issued by Long. And now he's in trouble again for Mike Pagliarulo. White Sox might need to get bullpen going early in this game. 3-11, and that's a ground ball pitcher A. Just what the doctor ordered, a 1-6-3 double play on the 3-11. It's a ground ball pitcher A. It's going to be a 1-6-3 DP to end the inning. So Long has been assisted by 2 double plays in 3 innings. But the Yankees, despite that, still lead 3-1 going to the bottom of the third. And Joe Niekro back out. He's got fatigue of 6. Bill Long has fatigue of 7. So they're both in good shape that way. Darryl Boston leading off. Struck out his first chance. 4-6, and against the lefty, that's a 1 for a double. I'm sorry, it's a straight out double on a 4-6. That's a straight out double for Darryl Boston, a leadoff double. Now the tying run comes to the plate in Gary Redus. Speaking of doubles, he's doubled his first time up and scored. 5-3 is a ground ball first base C. Mattingly will field it, flip to Niekro covering, but Boston will take third base where he can score on a sacrifice fly or infield hit, error, wild pitch, pass ball, all sorts of ways you can score from third base with less than 2 outs. So Redus gets the runner over. Now it's up to Walker to get him in. Infield for the Yankees is back. 5-12, left-handed. That's a ballpark blast for Greg Walker. It's 1-4, but that's a 16, but it will be a sacrifice fly. Sacrifice fly to right field. And by Redus getting the runner from second to third, that helped produce the run. Sacrifice fly from Greg Walker cuts the lead to 3-2. Now the bases are clear for Ron Hassey. 4-12, and that's a ground ball first base C again. So again, Mattingly has to range far to his right. Field it, find Niekro covering the bag. And that's going to do it for the White Sox. But they do chip away at the lead on the double, ground out, and sacrifice fly. Makes it a 3-2 game after 3. White Sox bullpen, as we chronicled at the very beginning, had 2 guys in the previous game pitch several innings. So, I'm sorry, it was the Yankees that did. The White Sox, James pitched an inning and a third. Searage went 2/3 and Thigpen 1. So they've got a pretty well-rested bullpen. Joel Davis can be the long man. He can go a long distance. So can McKeon. So if Long gets into trouble, they do have fresh arms out there. Yankees are a little thin in the bullpen, but they've got the lead. All right, here's Randolph. He singled and scored his first trip. 2-10 for Randolph, and he will fly to left field. Redus puts it away. And there's one away. One down for Joel Leonard Skinner. Strikeout victim his first chance. The only second strikeout that the first of 2 strikeouts that Long has gotten. Put it that way. 2-2, and that's a Lomax to third base, but nobody's on base, so it's just a Lomax. It will not be a double play or anything. Just an easy line out to Hewlett. And Long looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. The pitch to Tollison, 3-11. Split chance, 1-13 is a single. That's a 16. It's a line out to second. So he does get that 1-2-3 inning that he was looking for. Get his team back in the dugout, swinging the bats. It's 3-2, going to the bottom of the 4th. Finally getting a little bit of a nip and tuck game instead of this blowout stuff. All right, here's Pudge Fisk. See what he can do. Struck out his first chance. 5-7, and he will ground it to second. Willie Randolph. He is a 2E17. 2-14, he'll get to that. Now just the E17 is what the concern is. E17 and a 10 should be good all day long. E17, there is no 10. Good play, Willie Randolph. One down. And that flips it over to Ivan Calderon, the right fielder. 3-7, struck him out. Fourth strikeout, actually, for Necro. Got that knuckleball dancing on that one. 2 down for Manrique. He struck out his first time up, speaking of strikeouts. So Manrique looking to put bat on ball this time. That's a 5-10. That is a catcher X. Skinner, nobody on base, so no chance of a pass ball or a wild pitch. Skinner's a 2E4. 2-13 is probably a pop out, but we'll take a look. No, for sure. 2-13 is a pop out, assuming there's no error. And he's an E4, so he has to avoid 16, 17, and 18. Pretty simple. And he barely does. That is a 14. So, but he kind of juggled it in foul territory, but did make the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning on this side for the Yankees. First one they've had. So 1-2-3 inning for both pitchers in the 4th. And we go to the 5th. No change, 3-2 Yankees. Long back out will be facing the top of the order, Ricky Henderson, Claudel Washington, and Don Mattingly. Ricky 0 for 2. Very un-Ricky-like. 3-12, and that's a strikeout plus injury, so Ricky might have pulled something. He might have pulled something. That is strikeout number 3 for Long, but Ricky may have pulled something. He's got a strikeout plus injury, and the way the injury results are, 1-4, you stay in the game. 5 or higher, you got to come out of this game. And Ricky's got to come out. So Ricky Henderson is done. And they will need a new center fielder, will the Yankees. Now, the problem is Claudel Washington's the one that usually plays center field. So, but they will actually go to Henry Cotto, who just came up yesterday. So Henry Cotto will take over in center field for Ricky Henderson. So Cotto will come in for the injured Ricky Henderson. He is going to play center field in the 5th inning. So poor Ricky felt a twinge. Trainers looked at it. Piniella says, get the hell out of there, and we want to keep you around. So Ricky had to leave. And now that'll bring up Claudel. 4-9, and that's a single to center field for Claudel. 1 out single. Now, can Claudel get the lead? He needs a 6. He just missed it. Cannot do it. Brings up Donnie Baseball. That's a 3-4, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-9, but that's a 16. So it is a ground ball third base B, but I would normally do that but it's going to change who's on the field. So I'm going to change it back to a line out to second, even though I don't like that because there's just too many line outs to second base and short. But if I do ground ball third base B, then you change who the base runner is, and that affects the game. So I won't do that. I'll only keep the original when there's no impact. All right, so 2 outs, and here's Danny Pasqua. Pasqua has walked twice. 6-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. The shortstop's the one responsible for holding Washington, so the second baseman, Manrique, will keep his 3E13. He's not holding the runner. 3 and a 7. See if he makes the play on that. Hello, Kenyon. 3 and a 7. He does. He was not holding the runner, so the pound is of no effect. So he does get to it. He's an E13, so we have to avoid 14, 3, and 18. Again, move this out of the way because you got to have a virgin tray. It can't have messy tray in here where you got stuff bouncing all over the place. That's a 12, and he was an E13, so I think he's okay. Yep, 14, 3, and 18 are the errors, not 12. So Manrique will make his only play was the first base, but that's the third out, so it doesn't matter. So nothing doing there. The big news is that Ricky Henderson has to leave the game due to the injury. So Henry Cotto will take over in center field. And he's a very good center fielder. Obviously not the offensive player Ricky is, but he's better defensively than Ricky is. And that's what they're going to put their money on, is that he will play good defense. So Cotto in center field is a 2-1 E4, where he's a 2 + 2 E10. So definitely better defensively. So we start the bottom of the 5th, still a 3-2 game for Joe Niekro. He'll be facing Hewlett, Guillen, and Boston for the Sox. Bottom of the 5th, 3-2 Yankees. 6-9, and that's a pop out to third. Pagliarulo has it. 1 down for the number 9 man, Ozzie Guillen. 5-5, and that's a walk. That is the first base on balls issued by Niekro in this game. Guillen can get the lead with a 6 or a 7. If he does get the lead, Niekro's a +5 hold, so it looks very tempting. Might even be tempting to go on the secondary lead, but we'll see. He gets the lead anyway, so it's a moot point. It's a 6. He's an 18, but he holds a 16, but the +5 makes him a 21, so it's basically a 1-19. Skinner's T rating is an 8. So rather than take a chance of throwing the ball away, you would have to throw a 20 to get him out. So they're going to, Guillen got such a big jump, he's going to steal that on the pitcher. So stolen base for Guillen. So a walk and then a steal for Guillen. He's at second base with 1 out for Darryl Boston. 5-7, left-handed, and that's a ground ball second base X. Again, with the lefty batting, the shortstop's doing the holding, so Willie Randolph keeps his 2E17. 2 and a 20. Easy play there. That is a 15. Let's see if the E17 produces a 15. E17 does produce a 15. It's a 1 base error on Willie Randolph. He is an E17, and we rolled a 15. So it's going to be an E4. First error of the game on either team. It will send Guillen to third base. So runners are on the corners now on the E4 by Willie Randolph. Steinbrenner's up in the booth taking notes. Here's Gary Redus, Boston, looking to see if he can get a lead as well. Needs a 2 through 7 or an 11. And he gets the lead, but that's a 2, so chance of a balk on Niekro. But his balk rating is a 0, so he cannot balk. But that means Boston cannot get the good lead either. Hey, Ernest, good to see you. All right, here's Reedus. The infield for the Yankees is playing for the double play. 1-8, and it's a strikeout, a huge one for Negro. Strikeout number 5, and now there's 2 outs and 2 on, and just the infield can go back to normal depth. And they've still got to get Greg Walker. He had a sacrifice fly his last time up. That's a 2, chance of a balk or a pass ball. There's no balk rate on Negro. Pass ball rating on Skinner is only a 1. So we are checking the pass ball rating. And it's a 2. Boy, he just got lucky to not have a pass ball. Would have tied the game. Here's Walker. 6'11", left-handed. Ground ball pitcher X. That's back to Negro. He's an E19. He's a 3 E19 for Negro. 3 and a 5. Ooh, that's a little bit dangerous. 3 and a 5 for a pitcher. 3 and a 5 is good enough to get a G3. That's all he needs. And now you got to avoid the error. He's an E19. So he has to avoid 6, 9, 12, 15, 17, and 18. Those are the numbers to avoid on the E19. And that is an 11. So he did it. He did it. 12 is the number to avoid. That's an 11. So he's going to get out of that without any problems, as he will field it and throw Walker out to end the inning and pitch around the error by Willie Randolph. So the White Sox come away empty-handed here in the 5th. And it's still 3-2. Favor the Yanks. Starting the top of the 6th, it will be Winfield, Pagliarulo, and Randolph for the Yankees. Winfield hit into a double play and has walked. 1-5, and he's going to walk again. That is the 4th walk issued by Bill Long. So far, none of the players that have walked have scored. They've led to scores, but they have not scored. Actually, they've never led to scores. So he's gotten by so far, but you can only get by for that so often. Here's Pagliarulo. Winfield not being held. 1-5, and that is a ground ball first base A with a plus sign. The infield's not in. That's a 3-6-3 double play. 3-6-3 DP. 3rd double play turn by the White Sox. 2nd one hit into by Winfield. He's got to feel snake bitten, as he hit it hard, but right to Walker, who had plenty of time to go to 2nd for 1 and back to 1st for the double play. And now 2 quick outs for Willie Randolph. 3-11. Ballpark single 1-9, but that's an 18, so he will line it to short. End the inning. So Bill Long, a quality start as it turns out. 6 innings, only 3 runs. If you believe in the quality start stat, which I don't really believe, but that's just what they have, what they call it. So to me, a quality start is 6 innings and 2 runs or less, not 3 runs or less, but that's just my own opinion. All right, Ron Hassey will lead off the bottom of the 6th. This is the fatigue inning for Negro, so we have to keep an eye on that. Hassey 1-5, and that's a line out to Willie Randolph. 1 away. And Pudge, Carlton Fisk, he's 0 for 2. He's due. 4-10, and he's due to strike out, which is what he just did. That's strikeout number 6 for Negro. For Ivan Calderon, who was also 0 for 2. 2-7, struck him out. Strikeout number 7 for Negro. That knuckleball is dancing all over the place. So Negro keeps full endurance into the 7th inning as he pitches a 1-2-3-6. Top of the 7th we go, still 3-2. This is Bill Long's fatigue inning, and it's also the inning where we can start pinch hitting if needed. But since the Yankees are in the lead, they will keep these 2 defensive specialists in the game. So Skinner will hit. 2-11, and he's going to get hit by a pitch plus a possible injury. So it's possible injury. We could have our 2nd injury of the game on the Yankees as he gets plunked. And again, a 1-4 keeps him in the game. He cannot. He's got to leave. So second Yankee to be injured in this game. Joel Skinner will leave. And Rick Cerrone will come in and catch. They might use a pinch runner, though, in his place. Cerrone runs at a 10. The only guy that's halfway decent is Ward, but I might want to save him as a pinch hitter. So we're just going to have Cerrone run at first base. So Rick Cerrone will come in and catch in the 7th inning for the injured Joel Skinner. So that brings up Tollison. He is a B bunter. He's 1 for 2. Let's see if there's anything happening on the Havoc. Nothing happening. He's going to drop one down. The White Sox creeping in, so he becomes a C bunter. See where the bunt goes. C bunter, and there's a 2. 2 means it goes to the pitcher, right back to Bill Long. He's a C bunter, so we're looking in this middle column. Rolling a 5, and that's a good sacrifice. So sacrifice hit's going to go 1 to 4 as Long throws to Manrique covering first, and Cerrone will take second. So Tollison does his job with a nice sacrifice bunt. Fundamentally sound. And it's going to bring us to Henry Cotto for his first at bat since coming in for the injured Ricky Henderson. Long to Cotto. 3-9, and that's a strikeout for Bill Long. That is strikeout number 4 for Long. 2 down, and that's going to put it up to Claudell Washington. Washington is 2 for 3 against Bill Long, though. So the wheels are turning in the White Sox dugout, and Jim Fregosi has made a motion to the bullpen, and that's going to be it for Bill Long. With 3 lefties coming up, they will go to a lefty out of the bullpen. They will go back to rubber-armed Ray Searage. He went 2/3 of an inning yesterday in yesterday's game, so he's still okay to pitch again. 2/3 of an inning is not much. So Ray Searage, the lefty specialist, will be on to pitch for the White Sox. And we'll get the numbers on Searage. Searage on the replay. Checks in at 0-0 with no saves, a 5.19 earned run average. 9 innings pitched, 12 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, clutch situation for Claudell Washington. And against a lefty, he gains a hit on a 3-10 and a 2-11 and a 2-5 and a 1-4. So he's got good clutch hits all around against left-handers. See if we can do that. Take advantage of that against Searage. 4-8 is a single to center field, so Searage couldn't get it done. Single to center. Now, do you send Cerrone? He was not being held. He runs at a 10, not being held at an 11. 2 outs makes him a 13. The single goes to center. Boston's a -1 for a 12. 1 to 12, do you send him or do you wait and see if Mattingly can get a hit? With 2 outs, what do they do? It's a 60% chance. I think, boy, it's hard. You don't want to take the bat out of Mattingly's hands. But he is only 1 for 3, and you got a 60% chance. So they're going to send him. And the throw's going to come through, so Washington would take second base on an overthrow. It's 1 to 12, and he's safe. He's in there. So RBI single from Claudell Washington, and he will take second on the throw. But what that's going to do is take the bat out of Mattingly's hands. They will intentionally walk Mattingly now with first base open. But the run comes in. It's now 4-2. That run is charged to Bill Long. So Danny Pasqua is up. Pasqua, 2 outs and 2 on. Facing Searage. 5, 6, and that's a walk. So, man, Searage is just not getting it done either. And he's going to come out of there. They're not going to mess around with Searage either. He just couldn't get it done. He is going to come out. He won't get anybody out. He gives up a hit and walks 2, and he's responsible for all 3 runners that are on base. But with Dave Winfield coming up and the bases loaded, they will be going to a right-hander out of the pen, will the White Sox. And they will be going to right-handed pitcher Jim Wynn. Jimmy Wynn coming on. Jimmy Wynn will be coming on for the White Sox, taking over for Searage, who just couldn't get it done. So we'll get the numbers on Jimmy Wynn on the replay. Wynn is 1-0 with no saves, but he's got an ERA of 10.29. 14 innings pitched, 14 hits, 16 walks, and 5 strikeouts. That's his bugaboo. 16 walks and 5 strikeouts. He walked 62 in 94 innings. He's got a 4.79 earned average real world. But he's coming in to try to get Winfield out with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Winfield the batter. 3-6, and that's a ground ball to short. It's going to do it. That's going to end the inning. So just the 1 run comes in. They keep them in the ball game, do the bullpen for the Sox. At least Jimmy Wynn does. Searage didn't do it. Searage gave up the inherited runner. So 1 run comes in. It is now a 4-2 Yankees lead. And we can close the book now on both Searage and Long. And we'll also bring in Rick Cerrone to move him to the catcher position. And now we'll go to the box score and get our stats for Bill Long and for Ray Searage. Officially close them out. Bill Long, 6 2/3. 6 hits, 3 runs. Again, a quality start. 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Searage, nothing. All right. So this is Niekro, of course, went through the 6th with no damage. So he's got full endurance here in the 7th. We are in the pinch hitting mode if they want to go that route. Manrique is there available to pinch hit if need be. Hello, alternate. Good to see you. Hello, Captain Carl. Didn't see you sneak in there. But we are at the 7th inning stretch, and you know what that means. That means we are going to the 7th inning stretch. 7th inning stretch is upon us. And I might stand with you as well. Who knows? Hard to say, but I might. And of course, we have a visitor who came pushing up, open the door. And so Tabby has made a cameo. Now she's finally out of the way, I guess. Tabby, 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 this way. Come here. You're stuck. Come back over this way. No, come back over this way. Come here. Back this way. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now you can jump down. Hold on. Slight feline delay. Hold on. She just wanted to know what I was doing. That's all. We're back in business now. So now we have to figure out here in the bottom of the 7th what we want to do as far as the White Sox. Do they want to bring in some pinch hitters perhaps? Because that's definitely a possibility. So Manrique is 0 for 2. Let's look at the bench for the White Sox. They have Royster, Hill, Karkovice, Lyons, and Hairston. All can pinch hit. Lyons is the lefty. 2 switch hitters, Hill and Hairston. But Lyons has a 280 average, so they're going to pinch hit with Manrique with Steve Lyons. He's not a very good second baseman, but I think they're going to leave him in there to play second, and that way it frees up the other players if they need to do some more maneuvering. So Steve Lyons will pinch hit for Manrique. They got to go for offense over defense. So Steve Lyons and Tigers and Bears, oh my, will pinch hit here in the 7th and stay at second base in the 8th. Steve Lyons. So let's get the numbers on Steve Lyons on the replay as we bring him in. Remember, Necro has full endurance. He gave up nothing last inning. So Lyons on the replay comes into this game hitting .333. He's 4 for 12. 333. No homers, 2 driven in. He hit .280 real world. So Steve Lyons stepping to the plate. Hitting. 5-8, and he struck him out. There's a dot there, but he's not tired. Strikeout number 8 for Necro. And the right-hander would have struck out as well, so that was a Kobayashi Maru right there, no-win situation. So that brings up Tim Hewlett. Necro still has that knuckleball dancing. 4-4, and he didn't dance this time. 1-6 is a triple. 7-20 is a double. So Tim Hewlett with a double. And now the tying run is at the plate in the form of Ozzie Guillen. Guillen stepping up. For 1 with a walk. That's a 2-11 for Guillen. That's a pop out to second base, a huge out where the runner does not advance. 2 down. Now it's a clutch situation for Darryl Boston. Yankees have used both their lefties 2 innings each in the previous game, so the only lefty they really have that they feel comfortable going to is Bob Shirley, but he's not very good. Tim Stoddard is loosening in the bullpen. He's the freshest arm they have, other than Shirley. So Stoddard is loosening back a Necro. But it's Necro to Boston. 3-5, and ground ball to second. Necro gets out of it. And White Sox come away empty-handed here in the 7th. We go the 8th. It's still 4-2 Yankees. So Necro still going to hang in there. Jimmy Wynn back out. He only faced 1 batter, so he's obviously not tired. It'll be Pagliarulo, Randolph, and Skinner for the Yankees. And since the Yankees have the lead, like I said, they will keep the weaker hitting players in there that are good defensive players. They're going for defense over the offense. Here's Pags. 3-11 for Pags as a ground ball pitcher A. We've had that once before. He hit into a double play with it that way, but just a regular old 1-3 ground out right here. Or actually, no, was it ground ball? Yeah, pitcher A. 1-3 ground out. And Lyons, as a reminder, is at second base, although that play went to first base. I went to the pitcher, rather. So Randolph is your batter. He is 1 for 3, 4-8, and that is a 1-6 double, but that's a single for Willie Randolph. He's 2 for 4. Single for Randolph. He needs a 3 to get the lead. +1 hold for Jimmy Wynn. So should they want to try to steal, it'd be a +1. If he got the lead, he definitely would go. He needs a 3 to get the lead, though. And he can't get it, so he will hold. And here's the new catcher, Rick Cerrone, his first at bat since coming in for the injured Skinner. 3-3, and that's a single to left field for Rick Cerrone. It was clutch, but they're not in a clutch situation, so it's just a regular old single to left. Now 2 are on, and Wayne Tollison is your batter. Win to Tollison. 2-6, struck him out. Big strikeout for Jimmy Wynn. And now it's up to Henry Cotto. Henry Cotto with 2 on and 2 out facing Jimmy Wynn. Cotto struck out his first chance since he came in for Ricky Henderson. Wynn trying to keep the game close. 6-7. That's a walk. It's going to load the bases. And that's going to be it for Jimmy Wynn. They're going to another lefty out of the bullpen. With Claudell Washington coming up, they can't afford to mess around. So Jimmy Wynn will exit. And we get another lefty coming in, and that is Joel McKeon, the only other lefty they have on the roster. Joel McKeon. Not very good, but he's a lefty, so they're playing their percentages. Joel McKeon. So we'll get the numbers on McKeon on the replay. As Fregosi trying to do everything he can to keep his White Sox in the game. McKeon 0-0, no saves, a 12.91 earned run average. He had 9.3 real world. 8 innings pitched, 16 hits, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. But they just need him to get 1 out. He just needs to get Claudell with the bases loaded. Easier said than done. Claudell. 5-10, and that's a ground ball third base X. It's up to Timmy Hewlett, but he's a 4. That could be problems. 4-4, that's not good, but you can't blame the pitcher on that. That's bad defense. That is bad defense. 4-4. That's a single 2 stars, but don't blame the pitcher on that one. That was Tim Hewlett's problem. E22, still got some numbers here to avoid. That's a 9, so he's okay there, but it's a single 2 stars off the bat of Washington. And it will move Cotto to third, and it will score Randolph and Cerrone. 2-run single off the bat of Claudell Washington because Hewlett was not able to get to it. It is now 5-2. I'm sorry, 6-2. 6-2. My bad. I don't know where I got 5-2 from. It is 6-2. And bases are still occupied by Yankees. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, and Donnie Baseball, the batter. McKeon gets another chance against the lefty. 3-8, and that's a ground ball to short to finally end the inning. But the 2-run single turned in by Claudell because Tim Hewlett couldn't get to it as the 4 range cost him. And now the Yankees have opened up a little bit of a gap here. They lead it by the score of 6-2. And Necro back out. He only has 1 ding against this point of weakness. That's going to be it for McKeon, I think. We'll have to wait and see. He might come out for his second inning work. We'll see. Reedus is going to lead off here against Necro. Tim Stoddard has sat down, and Bob Shirley is loosening the Yankee bullpen. 2-6. Ground ball to short. Easy play for Tollison. 1 away. One down, and that's going to send us to Greg Walker. 6-12, and that's a walk. So Walker walks. And that'll bring up Ron Hasse. So 110 for Hasse. And that's a ground ball to second. A double play, 4-6-3. As the Yankees give the White Sox some of their own medicine, turning that double play. And now they might let Niekro finish what he started. He's got a commanding 6-2 lead. Why not let him try to finish the game? Due up for the Yankees is Pasqua. Then Winfield and Pagliarulo. So McKeon's going to stay out there. Facing Danny Pasqua. Danny Pasqua. 4-10. Left-handed ground ball shortstop X. Guillen's a 2E21. 2 and a 14. He'll get to it. E21. He has to. That's a 13. I don't like 13s. Those are bad numbers for defensive players. E21 shortstop and a 13, but I think he's okay. Yep, 15 is the problem, not 13. So Guillen makes the play. Pasqua is out of there. One away for Winfield, who has not had the best of days. He's walked twice, but he's also hit into a double play. 2-5, and that's a fly to center. That's 2 outs. And that brings up Pags. Pagliarulo. 4-10, and that's a ground ball shortstop X going right back to Guillen. He's a 2E21. 2 and a 4. That's a little bit more susceptible. 2 and a 4, though, he will get to it. And again, with an E21, he's got to avoid 6-15 and 17, which he does. So it's good play for Guillen, and that's going to end the inning. So McKeon overall did not pitch that poorly. But the Yankees have a commanding 6-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Niekro will try to finish what he started. He still has a little bit of endurance left. Bob Shirley is in the bullpen in case he gets tired or in case he starts to get ineffective. But they really want to get Niekro the complete game if possible. Hello there, Earl. Look who came out of the woodwork. I don't know how your Phillies are doing, but hopefully they're doing okay. All right, here is Pudge, Carlton Fisk. 3-9 for Fisk, and that's a single to center field for Pudge Fisk. And now Niekro getting on the verge of fatigue, and we might be seeing Bob Shirley coming, or actually Tim Stoddard. Shirley has sat down Stoddard, more the closer type, with Righetti being tired. So they're gonna use Tim Stoddard if Niekro gets into trouble. Calderon, the batter. 6-10 for Niekro is a fly ball center field. XS Cotto. Cotto is a 2 because he came in for the injured Henderson. Cotto is a 2E4. 2E4. 2 and a 5 should be okay. 2 and a 5 is an F2. He's an E4. He's got to avoid 4, 16, and that's it. 4 and 16. And that's a 5. So it's a rare play. We said it was an F2 rare play. All right, F2 rare play. The outfielder catches the fly ball for an out. If there's a runner on third base, he tags up and scores a run. The play is appeal. Well, there's nobody on third base. So there's no appeal to worry about. It's just a fly ball out to center field that Cotto runs down for out number 1. And that'll bring up Steve Lyons. Took over from Enrique. Struck out his first plate appearance. 4-8 against the lefty. That's a 112 single. It's a 14, though, so he lines it to second. for out number 2, and it's up to Timmy Hewlett. He's the last of the Mohicans. And it's up to Hewlett, or Necro will get himself a complete game. 2-8 for Hewlett, and he flies it to left field. There's your ball game, put away out there by Dan Pasqua, and the Yankees win. The Yankees win. The Yankees win 6-2, your final. 6-2 is the final. We'll go to the box score on the Strat computer and get all the pertinent data. Yankees improved to 19-7. They take a half-game lead over the Brewers. The White Sox fall down to third place, now 11-12, one game behind the Kansas City Royals with this loss. So Long goes to 0-1. He gets the loser. Necro gets the win, 1-0. Does it in style with a complete game. 9 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs. Walked 2, struck out 8. Quite well for himself. Jimmy Wynn went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits and 2 runs, a walk and a strikeout. McKeon went 1 1/3. He gave up 1 hit and nothing else. So something's off my runs here. Let's see. Somebody didn't give up the right amount of runs here. 3. Searage. Did Searage come in? He came in here. That run was so Long actually gave up 4 runs, not 3. So it was not a quality start after all, because he gave up that run there. All right, so the totals: 6 runs, 10 hits, and an error for the Yankees. 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors for the White Sox. Yankees left on 10, White Sox left on 6. Necro the winner, Long the loser. Home runs in the game, there were none. How about that? No home runs in this game. Very unusual for 1987. But that's going to conclude game number 174 on the replay. And the next game on the schedule for Strat-O-Matic will be from the Homer Dome in Minneapolis. It will be Baltimore Orioles against the Minnesota Twins. Both teams come in the game 10-14. It'll be Mike Smithson, a righty, against lefty Eric Bell. And that will be game number 175 in this replay. That will be probably tomorrow night. Tomorrow morning, perhaps, would be the Inside Pitch 1977 NL Game of the Day replay. It'll be the second game of the season, April 7th date, and it will be St. Louis Cardinals at the Pittsburgh Pirates. I believe it's John Denny against Jerry Royce is the matchup on that one on Inside Pitch. So, White Sox can't get it done. And the Yankees have won the first 2 games of the series as they defeated the White Sox previously 4-3, and they do it again here by the score of 6-2. So that's going to do it from Comiskey Park. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced 1987 American League Replay. Again, thanks to everybody for tuning in, spending part of your Saturday evening with me. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. Hello, Prague. I saw you sneak in at the end.